Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Bestiary Boys, where we do deep dives into monster manuals and bestiaries. And Joey, what are we talking about today?
Today we are going to take a look at the BROOK horse.
The BROOK horse, a very intriguing, a very interesting creature that we're going to talk about very shortly. But first, let's talk about the fantastic quote that begins this entry. And it goes like this. Oh yes, BROOK horses can absolutely be tamed. I'm told they're extremely fond of flowers and poetry. And as mounts, they are unmatched in both strength and speed, says Aramund Tote, horse dealer. Interesting quote from Aramund, which makes me feel almost like he's in cahoots with the BROOK horses. He's trying to sell them as a great companion. But before we move into the description, let's take a look at this awesome artwork. So we have a horse, what seems to be a regular horse, lurking in the water. But what I love so much about the depiction of this horse, because this is a very challenging creature to illustrate, because as described in the description, it says that they appear as normal horse. But somehow, David Brascalia captured this ominous looking, he like shadowed his face, the horse's face. So you see kind of this horse looking over its shoulder, I guess, at us. And there's like a steaming bog mist, magical bog mist or something coming off it. But I love how he highlighted the eyes. So these nice little glistening highlights, specular highlights in the eyeballs among the shadows. So really cool. What do you think?
It's intimidating looking. Yeah, it's a horse, but it looks like a monster at the same time.
Yeah, it has this just piercing gaze that tells you something isn't quite right.
Yep.
And speaking of things that are not quite right, we learn in the description here that among rivers and rapids lurks the devious BROOK horse. And to us, it seems like any other horse, large and gray, but unlike our regular steeds, the BROOK horse is a ruthless predator, feeding on both all humans, elves, halflings, and anything that comes in its way. So we find out that it can breathe both on land and underwater, which we'll get to its underwater dealings when we talk about the attacks. And its nests are in flooded caves and caverns, and also filled with the bones of its victims. But this is a cool little detail as well that I didn't pick up in the illustration, is that its teeth are sharp and pointed, and a faint stench of rotten seaweed surrounds its body. I guess that's what the pluming gas or whatever is in the illustration is, but that's kind of a cool look where you see this horse in the water, and then as you get too close, maybe you see these sharp and pointed teeth where you might expect the flat ones. Speaking of its attacks, Joey, let's talk about the stat block.
All right, this boy's numbers are ferocity 2, size large, movement 24, and HP 34. No armor.
Thankfully, no armor.
It's one little passive ability it has is deceptive. So it can appear as an ordinary horse and is able to keep its instincts under control when hunting. So it's a murderous beast, but it knows how to play it cool until it doesn't need to. It lures its victims into the water and tricks them into mounting it. If they do, the BROOK horse immediately gallops towards the deepest part of the water to throw the victim off and attack them by any means at its disposal. Seeing through a BROOK horse's facade requires a successful beast lore roll. So I was about to be like, hey, it doesn't have a swim speed, but it just literally said that it gallops in the water. So I guess its movement counts the same as it doesn't need to swim. It just magically gallops in the water.
And what is your take on seeing through its facade? Do you think its facade is like, well, it is an evil looking horse, and then its facade is a regular looking horse, or do you think that its facade it's something else entirely?
I would think it appears even more normal than what the art shows us.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, like it looks way more normal than this. And then once it got to where it wants you,
Yeah.
then it changes
You see
into
the
its
sharp
more natural.
teeth and the like
Yeah.
the demonic or the eyes glaring at you, and maybe you catch the scent of rotting seaweed, et cetera, et cetera.
Let's see, what can he do once he gets you into the water? Well, he can horse kick, which is it actually throws the victim 2d8 meters, lands prone, and takes an equal amount of bludgeoning damage. I don't imagine horse kick would make much sense if he has you under the water, though, because you don't really get thrown under the water.
Yeah, true.
This is more of a on the land attack.
Mm-hmm.
Ravenous bite, so it just bites you with its sharp teeth. 2d10 slashing damage. Holy shit!
Sharp teeth.
That's a lot of damage. Crushing hooves. The brook horse rears up and strikes with its hooves at two opponents within 4 meters of each other, dealing 2d6 bludgeoning damage, and they must make a will roll or resist fear. God, this game loves fear and paralysis. I'm surprised it doesn't paralyze you some way. Hateful gaze. The brook horse fixes its gaze on a player character within 10 meters and focuses all its hatred on them.
What does it hate? What does this horse hate so bad? I know he's hungry, but what does this horse hate?
I don't know. Maybe
Let
he's
us know
just
in the
a Sith
comments.
Lord.
Yeah, there you go.
And of course, the victim must make a will roll with a bane to resist
With a
fear.
bane.
Wow.
That is because that is a hell of a hateful gaze. So.
Yeah, it's all it's hate. Drowning. So number 5, the beast pulls an opponent into the deep, and the victim immediately begins to drown as per page 53 in the rule book. The victim cannot move or perform actions that require movement except trying to break free, which requires a strength roll with a bane. Others can help. So hopefully your mallard friend is there and they can hop in the water, swim right to you.
Yeah. How do you envision the brook horse is trying to drown you? Like pulling you in? Is it by the teeth, would you say? Would you rule?
I would think magically, like, because you know me, I haven't run a lot of games for you, but one thing that everyone, if any of my players are watching this, they know I make up shit on the fly. That makes sense. But like, yeah, that Joey definitely didn't pull that out of the monster manual, and now we got to deal with it. Now, for me, the mane would like entangle you. It would wrap its hair around your limbs, keeping you on it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And there is no mane entanglement here, but I would roll a 7-sided die and add that one right after whatever number 6 is. Speaking of number 6, Wild Ride. The brook horse lures an opponent to climb onto its back. Resisting requires a will with the victim. Oh, sorry, will with a bane. So they really want this creature's attacks to work, because everything you do has disadvantage basically. But on a failure, the beast rides off with the victim at breakneck speed up to twice its movement, so 48 meters, leaving the victim exhausted. Oh, wow. An already exhausted victim must choose another condition. And then it inflicts D6 damage. Armor has no effect. And this is repeated each round on the brook horse's turn instead of another monster attack. So instead of rolling to do something else, you're just stuck doing this until something gives way for it. This is repeated each round instead of rolling on monster attack until the victim reaches 0 HP or manages to jump off. On their turn, the victim can roll will again to throw themselves off the horse. On a success, though, they still take 2d6 bludgeoning damage from the fall. Armor having no effect again.
Yeah.
So
I could see this being a challenging thing to run in that, normally when you have a combat encounter, you have a relatively smallish, battle map, let's say.
Right, yeah.
So if this brook horse decides to, I guess you'd want to keep them within the boundaries, because I guess presumably they want to kill everybody they encounter, not just the one person, unless they're trying to take them back to their lair.
Right.
To, consume them and throw them on a pile of bones. But I could see that being challenging because this thing, it can run up to 48 meters during this attack, which is way, way, way faster and farther than any other player character can. So I could see this brick horse just booking it in one direction, getting far away from the party. And then at that point, you almost have like a one-on-one battle until this character gets off, potentially. I mean, I guess you could keep the brick horse within the vicinity of the players, but...
Well, and it's one of those things where, you know, if you're ambushed by one, you know, whatever you have is whatever you have. But if the adventurers have heard rumors about, oh, there's this deadly horse by, you know, such and such lake, well, then you'd prepare and you'd bring horses of your own, kind of deal. Like if we ran into a brick horse, that might be when Gwydion really shines because he has his own steed. So if someone did get dragged off, he could keep up with the horse and try to fight it.
Yeah, I guess if you have a horse, but I feel like more often than not, adventuring parties are hoofing it. Yeah, they're on foot, but yeah,
they have a pony at best to carry their stuff, or a donkey. But that's what the brook horse can do. But let's see how this book suggests we use the brook horse, Jason.
Yeah, so we have a very brief random encounter, which includes a riderless gray horse standing in the middle of a raging river, wide-eyed. It whinnies, pleading for the player characters, as if asking to be saved from drowning, but it is, of course, a brook horse that wants to lure the adventurers into the water and make a meal of them. One of the monster's latest victims can be seen in the rapids.
Oh, that's
cool. So, yeah, I like that aspect because that's another telltale sign that something is amiss. But it could be also construed as it is the rider of the horse, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, that is not necessarily the horse being saved from drowning, but its rider. So that could be confusing in that regard. So that's a little kind of classic brick horse encounter. However, the adventure seed's a little bit more in depth, and it reads, several log drivers have gone missing, and the village elder of Timber Creek, a named place for you, ask the player characters to find them, identify the reasons for the disappearances, and put an end to whatever's causing them. There's so many adventure seeds that involve disappearances, but I'm a sucker for that trope. There are two main suspects. There's a nearby Wolfkin tribe that has been acting aggressively lately and is believed to be infected with demonic madness. And a group of elves that have been sighted several times in recent months that are said to be fanged. So really cool red herrings there. Because we also know that this brick horse has sharp teeth. But neither the wolves or the elves are the true culprits, which is the player characters will hopefully figure out without much bloodshed. It is actually a brick horse that has built a nest in the rapids and slowly but surely lured the log drivers into a cold, wet death. So yeah, I like that. They're giving you a couple red herrings. This could be something that could easily extend into a good-sized adventure, you know, exploring those two locations with the Wolfkin and the elves and their settlements or wherever they are to kind of put the pieces together. So it'd be kind of like a little murder mystery adventure.
Yeah, I just like the idea of fanged elves.
I know, yeah. I do too.
And like, would they really be fanged, or would they, once you reach the elf tribe or whatever they are, they'd be like very insulted? They're like, "What? No, we don't have fangs like that." It'd be fun. That'd be a fun adventure.
Yeah, I'd always make the elves talk very quietly without showing their teeth.
Oh yeah.
To see if the player, hey, can you, like, I'm going to try to tell a joke, you know, to get him to laugh so I can see his teeth, you know? That'd be funny. Okay, well, this, Joey, is how Free League is suggesting we run a brick horse, but do you have any great ideas how you might run them at your table?
Brook horse adventure from yours truly. I think I'm a little bit stumped with this one. It's a brook horse. It's really difficult because I'll be honest, I've known for 2 weeks we were going to be doing the brook horse. Hadn't thought about it 1 minute.
Same.
But I think something that could be interesting is if you do a spin on the brook horse where perhaps almost like stealing from the last unicorn, where you find a brook horse in possession of like a carnival of some kind, and it wants to be back in the water, but it shows itself as like an unassuming horse, right? Maybe even lies and says it's a unicorn, and it encourages the party to free it, so they have to deal with like crazy carnies while trying to free what they think is this helpless animal. And then once they free her and get her to a brook, then she reveals what she really is and tries to kill them, because it's just like she can stay off her instincts until she needs to, right? So it would be like, what if Schmendrick the magician got killed by the unicorn instead of getting to walk around with her? There's a lot of walking in that movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And the weird tree.
I should also mention that Patrick of Dragonbane developer fame, he's on our Discord server, and he dropped in the Nixie Wikipedia listing, which the Brook Horse is part of. Actually, the Brook Horse is the Scandinavian part of, I guess, that class of creature. Kind of almost like mermaid-like, where they're luring people into the water to feast on them. So I highly suggest you guys, I'll drop the link down below so you guys can read more about the historical or mythological origins of the Brook Horse. Or I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Swedish way of saying it.
Yeah.
But it's in there. It's in there if you want to see it. Yeah, the Brook Horse is a tough one. I would like it to be an adventure where, because it does mention that the lair is like a flooded cavern of some kind, right? So to me, that would lead them to, a mini dungeon, I guess. And knowing that the mythology of this Brook Horse and its associated creatures really runs deep historically, even so far as to like talking about things taking human form and things like that, I think I might potentially expand upon the Brook Horse listing and try to give a little bit more lore to the creature. Yeah. Make it a little bit more than just this thing that lurks in a river and draws people in, but maybe you learn of a story. I don't want to go as far as to say it's like a werehorse or anything like that, where you learn of the person who this thing once was. But I think I would like to flesh it out in some way. And I know I'm being very vague here because, like you, we've had 2 weeks to think about this and I didn't think about it once. But these are kind of like the rough blueprints of what I would like to do, because I always like to wrap things around a story of some kind. Yeah. And the image of a pile of bones in a flooded cave, where this Brook Horse takes its victims, really kind of evokes that sense of story or inspires that sense of story. And I don't know, maybe there's somebody down there, maybe there's something that was left behind, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe this Brook Horse has ties to another individual at some point. Maybe there was like a point at which maybe like what's his face, the guy who said the quote, Araman Tote. Maybe Araman Tote's involved in some way. Yeah. Maybe he's right. Maybe Araman is right. And that I'm told they're extremely fond of flowers of poetry and mounts. And as mounts, they're unmatched. So maybe there was a Brook Horse connection with somebody else at some point. I don't know. And
that would be really cool.
Yeah, I like that idea. And I like bringing Araman Tote into the equation, because he seems to be pretty optimistic about Brook Horses.
I think if my players heard that from him and they were like, like their night went and just sung proses and gave roses to a Brook Horse, maybe for like a while, they could have a Brook Horse mount until they got too far from water.
Yeah, there's a lot of great elements. I think if you really read this listing carefully, like a little nuggets you can pluck from each part, even if you don't want to use the adventure seeds or the encounters, that you can craft your own thing.
Yeah.
But moving on, we have quite the viewer showcase today. We have three submissions. So do you want to kick it off? And we'll talk about Duckies, our own Ducky, the player character in many of our games, or the player in many of our games.
The player character, yeah. It's not real.
He's a character, yeah. He never shows his face on camera, so is he real? Is he AI? We don't know. But he's currently playing Magnus, the bumbling wizard in our Dragonbane campaign. But yeah, let's talk about his awesome entry.
So yeah, his Brook horse. I love the way. I mean, this thing looks dead inside.
It does. It looks like kind of undead.
Yeah, I love how shaggy its hair is, and I like that it looks like it's hairy all over. Like the hairs are a little bit longer. Like it's a very unkept, untamed horse, and he's muscular. So like if he grabs you and swims under that water, you know you're done for.
And he's got this great dead stare, this dead eye stare that is similar but different than the monster manual, because you don't really see any sense of irises or pupils or anything like that. It's just kind of like a milky, just dead eye stare. And I love the little addition. He's got a little bit of a curly Q kind of thing going on at the top, which I enjoy that. So that's pretty cool. So really awesome work, Ducky. Thanks for sending it, man. And he's got a really cool like little ink wash or watercolor at the bottom. So it's all inked, but then he's got like where the water is. It's cool. So moving on, we have another one. This one's by another frequent submitter, Captain Flunder.
Captain Flunder.
Yeah, so this one's awesome as usual. It's a watercolor, inked as well. But this is just the head of the Brook horse, peeking out of the water. Same dead eye stare, very similar to Ducky's illustration. Its ear is almost looking horn-like.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that touch because it's like a Q, like an evil Q almost, and it looks like he's got some things dripping from his mouth.
Yeah. What I really like about Captain Flunder's Brook horse is that like the veins in the neck, the furrowing of the brow, like this thing wreathes in hatred.
It's like that. It's like that meme, you know, the guy like holding in a fart near his crush. It's almost like that, but evil and cool.
But evil, yeah.
But
he's not holding
cool.
a fart. He's holding in the urge to just murder you.
Exactly.
Instantly. I love like on the eyes where like you can kind of see the redness of the vessels. His eyes are he's just strained with hate right now.
Yeah, it's cool stuff, man. So thanks again for sending it in. And last but not least, we have, again, another frequent submitter like Bunny Cat likes. And this horse, I don't know about you, but this horse is going to seduce me into the river because it looks so nice and welcoming and happy and pleasant.
That's the first thing I thought when I saw it. I said, well, this is without a doubt the most successful Brook horse anyone had ever seen. Because would you even guess? So Bunny Cat told me that, you know, she didn't know at all what a Brook horse was. So she painted a horse by a brook for sure.
Perfect. That's exactly what we need. Yeah.
But what was funny was when I Googled the Brook horse later, there are a lot of images of beautiful white horses and gloomy. Yeah, Google it.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Because they are trying to lure you. So they need to look inviting, right?
One of my favorite images I found online was a guy. It's literally a painting of a white horse, and a guy is like on the back of it, and it's diving into water. I was like, oh, you know what? Bunny Cat likes you. You nailed it.
You nailed it
perfectly.
Totally nailed it. So, you know, as usual, this thing is painted. You know,
on canvas.
Acrylic on canvas. So, yeah, it's really cool, really inviting. Really, I love how the take is so different than the other ones, you know, because it's but like you said, when you looked it up on Google, that's kind of how they're depicted.
Yep.
So
there's all kinds of depictions.
Yeah.
And of course my favorite ones are the eeriness or what, like basically like this is what it looks like when it's going to kill you.
Yeah. But, same. Because I mean, it is a monster manual or a bestiary, so you want to get the creature aspect of it.
Lovely painting.
Yeah, great painting. Thank you everybody for submitting. Well, I think that brings us to the end. Oh yeah. if you guys would like to submit anything, artwork, adventure seeds, whatever you can think of regarding sock puppets, as we always keep saying, we haven't got a sock puppet yet, crochet, whatever it is, you can contact Joey or myself on our Discord server, DM us. The link is down below in the description, or you can email us at archivistofadventure@gmail.com. So I think that brings us to the end of Brook Course, unless there's anything else you wanted to mention about it.
I just like requesting the weirdest kinds of art. If you've got any really cool monster pogs, share those too.
Yeah, monster pogs.
Pogs are awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Pogs means something else nowadays. POGS, pogs.
What's the other
That's all I'm
pog?
going to say. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it? Okay. Okay, I'll not worry about it. I'm going to totally Google it after we finish this recording. So, speaking of next week, what is the next creature we're going to be talking about?
The Caledon, right?
Caledon, yeah, which is a
city.
Yeah, it's a city. It's also
an area, right?
It's also a well, I won't spoil it. I'm gonna blur out the image right here, so you guys will have to. You guys can probably Google it and figure it out. But yeah, if you guys want to send us content regarding that, you know how to do it. Also, if there's some cool artwork out there that you guys really find fascinating, send it our way too. It doesn't always have to be unique creations, in case you're not an artist or a writer or anything like that out there.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the Brook Course. I had a good time talking about this one. It's granted it's from mythology, but it's different than a dragon or a basilisk or a goblin. So it's kind of its own cool class of creature, and as well as the Caledon, which we'll talk about next week. So, as always, Joey, thanks for diving deep into the bestiary with me.
Always fun.
Cool, man.
And, was that a pun? Because this is a water related?
No, that wasn't. But shit, I guess now it is.
All right.
Oh well, there we go. Pun intended, I guess. So thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and watching. And let us know your thoughts below on the Brook Course. And we will see you next week with Caledon.